Question to staff, just because I know the speculation is there. Does any way in granting this rezoning and granting these amenities prevent, if in the future this is the location for our distributed sewage treatment plant? The distributed model being proposed is that we would have our sewage treatment plant here, that Saanich would have it in Harrow Woods, that Oak Bay would have it in Windsor Park. And so if we move this forward and for some reason they can't find a site and we move to the larger distributed model, does the changes that here prevent us from ever moving in a different direction? Or we move this one forward, and as the truth is, you can put anything you want there as long as you have enough money.
Yeah, that's a complicated question, Your Worship. I would side on the latter. I think, it doesn't prohibit you from still doing other works on the site. There still is ample site, and certainly by burying facilities, there's an expense to it. But I don't see by upgrading this pump station would prohibit any future works of that nature if that was the direction that was determined.
Thank you, Mr. Kalinchuk. Councillor Isaac?
Yeah, I think it might alleviate some of the concerns of council members that in the report at page 342, it's just to summarize from the second and third paragraph at the top of that page, the conveyance pipe will not be installed until the final alignment of the cycle tract has been approved by the city. Should the rezoning be approved, staff would move forward with the final stage of public engagement and bring a final report to council. So council is the arbiter of that alignment, which is the necessary trigger for whether a pipe goes in. So, and that was a prior council decision that we are the final arbiter for that alignment. So I think without council say so, there will be no pipe and there will be no cycle track. My personal view is that if our partner local government feels they need a right-of-way for conveyance infrastructure, I'm not inclined to impose a roadblock. It would be akin for me of Hydro wanting to install some of their infrastructure on one of our public rights-of-way. The fact they're offering us a big community in the form of a cycle track, a multi-use trail on the waterfront, in exchange for using our right-of-way for their infrastructure. So I personally do have concerns about trying to, if we want to fight the horse around treatment, try to send me a direction as your director at CRD board, and I'll take that under advisement in our debates. If council wants a motion to shift our tack on the CTERA project, let's have that. But there is no direction along those lines. So I don't feel comfortable trying to do that in relation to what CRD is proposing to do, acting in accordance with a plan that's approved by the board, approved by the minister. So just a caution. But we do have the final say-so. If we want to bring those considerations in, we can have a go at it when staff ask us whether or not to approve the final alignment for the pipe and the cycle track.
Thank you. I saw an interest in staff jumping in. Angels treading where, staff treading where angels feel to tread. Go ahead.
Well, Your Worship, again, just focusing on the zoning part of the question that you asked, the use that is identified in the zone that's being proposed is only a wastewater pump station. So to the extent a more comprehensive sewage facility goes beyond that definition, you'd have a rezoning.
Okay. So it doesn't physically preclude it, but we'd have to have rezoning if we wanted to do that. I think that provides comfort level on both sides. Councillor Young, I want to check with you. I'm looking for new voices on this one.
I certainly support this, Your Worship, and obviously the works required in any case. Clearly, I cannot assure my colleagues that this project will proceed in the envisioned form, but at the same time, the province, in ordering the project, or more precisely, in donating a large share of the funding and persuading the federal government to donate another large share of the funding, was very clear in the manner that it was to proceed, which was through a board being appointed to take the direct management of the project. That's had the effect that that board, having clearly been instructed to work to move the project forward is following their instructions and doing so. So that accounts for the apparent or the issue that the project is moving forward in various ways, and as you've read in the paper, there are contractors being selected and so forth. But I know that a number of my colleagues, don't want to be part of that commitment. And all I can say is we've been assured that the work proposed here will be of benefit to the environment in any case, and I see no reason why we should not encourage it to proceed as quickly as possible.
Thank you. Councillor Gudgeon? I'll look to call the question.
Yes, I think I'm satisfied by the staff's comments, by all of the different directors, and I'm just happy to see that something that's been delayed for so long, upgrades to our current facility, are being done and not being put off. So as a result of that, and focusing on this specifically and the amenities that we will receive and have the upgraded screening facilities, much needed and long overdue, that I can support this. And whatever falls in the future will be an entirely longer and more difficult discussion for all of us, and especially myself. So thank you.
Thank you. I have another question. I'm sorry. It's one of those ones as it comes from the table. I'd be remiss. We had also asked for the basically operating expenses. I know we got the construction of the public washrooms, but we were looking for the CRD to pay for it. Is that also included in here? I just want to make sure I had it there.
Yes, Your Worship, there is the 5-year period of covering that.
5-year? One of those ones like.
Correct, yes.
Can we kind of do it like another municipality and say 5 years, and if we can sell it for a certain amount of money, then after that it goes in perpetuity? Sorry, does it get renewed after 5 years, or do we clean it after 5 years?
No, the funding is $75,000 for maintenance of the public realm facilities for a 5-year period. That's how the amount was arrived, Your Worship.
Thank you very much for that clarity. Councillor Helps?
Thank you. I have another question arising from Councillor Isaac's paragraph that he read out with regard to public engagement. Again, reflecting on Councillor Madoff's comments about the nature of the tie between the rezoning and the conveyance pipe. I get that council has final approval on the cycle track, but I'll read it again with a different question coming out of it. Any further public engagement to present the recommended final alignment of the cycle track was deferred until after the rezoning process concludes. Should the rezoning be approved, staff would move forward with the final stage of public engagement and bring a final report to council later this summer. Again, why would we start engaging the public on or will we automatically rezone it and then run out and do public engagement on a cycle track that may or may not be built over a pipe that may or may not be built? So again, I want to understand, if we approve the rezoning, do we automatically start planning the cycle track?
Mr. Kalinchuk.
Your Worship, we would certainly meet with the Cetera staff and get an understanding of the status of the project, and certainly update council prior to doing any public consultation. You do make a good point. I don't think we'd want to go out and do public consultation if we know there's still some uncertainty, but certainly we would discuss it with them and advise you.
Thank you very much.
Council, I actually need a motion. Seconder, please, Councillor Isaac. All those in favor for first reading? Opposed? Carried? Sorry, opposed? Sorry. Madoff and Helps opposed? Thank you.